Y'all, somebody go ahead and give this girl an Oscar, an Emmy, Golden Globe, something. Because when I tell you, she almost pulled this shit off. She had everyone believing that she was the victim. She had no power. She couldn't do anything. But take a look at this PGA letter. Let's get into it, shall we? Now, this was a long letter, so I'm just, reading some key points here. So here we go. Dear Producers Guild of America, I'm writing you with meaningful urgency and also respect. I'm sorry, but I'm asking for your attention to this in a crunch time period. I'm positive you have matters much more significant than this, but I bare my heart to you asking for you to take a look at my note, at this film, and my work in it off camera means more to me than anything I've done in my 20-year career. There's been a recent update change with regard to my official role in the upcoming film It Ends With Us, releasing August 9th. Just a few days ago, I was officially granted the title of producer after a year and a half of asking and working tirelessly to prove the validity of that title. I've produced every moment of this film, from pre-production through production, into post, and now into marketing and worldwide release. I'm grateful that the contract has now been revised to reflect the immense work that I put in. You mean the contract that you didn't sign? I'm writing to ask for the great honor of receiving the PGA tag. I don't take that lightly. In our household, it's the highest honor in film, so I understand the gravity of the ask. I also understand the absurdity in asking this late. Without the official title of producer, my hands were tied. I couldn't apply when I wanted to. No crew would no crew could tick me in the box of producers who should receive the tag when polled. I'm pleading now because I'm confident with all my soul that if you saw what I did on this film, you would agree that this mark is without question deserved. I'll lay out I'll lay out how we got here below because I appreciate that this isn't the way the process usually works. You know why? Because you were hired to act in this movie, not take over, not write, not produce, not do any of this other stuff. But let's keep going. You granted the PGA tag to two producers, Alex Saxton and Jamie Heath, on April 18th. I'm in full support of their tags. My understanding is that they are both in support of mine. I don't think so, bitch. I have a note from Alex attached below, along with 16 other department heads, and Jamie, if asked, I'm sure would confirm the work I did. I'm sure he would because you're painting him into a corner. So much has changed since they filed for their tag, the most significant being that the cut of the film that was selected to be released is my cut, which I'll lay out in more detail later. But I imagine you appreciate the gravity of that advancement alone since April 18th. As not to get bogged down into too many of the why now details, I'll focus on the facts of the work I did in each stage of production bulleted below. I apologize for how dense it is, but it's important for me to lay out all I've done when asking for such a significant consideration from you all at the PGA. Now, don't forget, she said in her complaint she was an employee and she had no power in what anything was doing, but there's something in here, and yeah, it's a little bombshell as it pertains to this sexual harassment stuff. Development and pre-production. I led the location shift from Boston to New Jersey and helped to solve all costs and schedule logistics associated. I personally called and or wrote emails to crew and put forth names for department head roles, including hair, makeup, director of photography, costume design, transportation, security, camera operators, etc. I reviewed and reshaped the creative of production design for all key locations for all characters, also made changes to use existing elements of locations to save costs. I called in favors with home design contacts to get items loaned, discounted, or gifted to save production design costs. I reviewed and reshaped the creative of costume designs for all characters. This bitch did a lot. Like how do you do all this? There's not enough time in the day to. I mean, you tell me from The way she's describing this was a one woman show. But let's keep going. I went through hundreds of casting tapes to help find the rest of the cast, including our stars Atlas, young Lily, young Atlas, and Jenny Bloom. I rewrote the script to improve the role of Jenny Bloom after three actresses turned it down. You mean Ryan wrote it? I personally identified and put forth Amy Morton to play Jenny Bloom after the rewrite of Jenny Bloom was implemented. Amy accepted our offer. I screen tested with all options for Atlas. When we struck out with those actors, we offered the role to our original choice, Brandon Sklenar, the ass kisser, who then turned it down, so I had my team get involved in convincing him to do it. I wrote him a personal letter as well. He accepted the role. That must have been one of those things she did without teeth. I gave the director references for the characters, dialogue, and visuals. Damn, bitch, sit your ass down. I zoomed with every cast member to get their notes and ideas. I then did significant rewrites of the script to incorporate all the notes of the cast, studio, distributor, author, director, and myself since our writer was not available at the time because she was on another job. Girl! Oh. I pushed the studio, distributor, and director to change the rating of the film from an R rating to a PG-13 because there was a significantly bigger market opportunity with PG-13, which the book captured. I argued that in order to replicate the book's success in the screen's adaptation, we needed to serve the same age range of audience. The issue was the studio already had a deal in place with a distributor to deliver an R rated film. I had multiple conversations with all parties, helping to convince everyone of the shared bigger opportunity for all, resulting in everyone agreeing to make the film PG 13, which is where it stands today. But when you signed on to this movie, you knew it was an R rating, and your whole thing for getting mad at him wanting to know how much you weighed was, and being, oh, he body shamed me, was because you wanted to get fit for this role because you knew there were going to be some scenes, some racy scenes that were going to be done. But anyways, let's move down to the production of what she did. I constantly broke schedule and budget in pre-production, and then daily and often hourly during production. I unfortunately was responsible for the firing of our first AD, Julie, as we were not making our days for the first many weeks, and I had the 20 years of experience to see that the days were not boarded well enough from the get go, and her experience was not appropriate for the film we were making. When we came back after strikes, I was writing as we were shooting to meet real time hurdles and demands with regard to schedule, budget, and creative needs. I reviewed and instated COVID protocols when we had an outbreak and lost many key crew members. I managed the politics and HR concerns on a daily basis, acting as an intermediary to help to keep crew and cast engaged, safe, and on board. So that means that she would have to report to herself basically what was going on. But she said, "Oh, but there was no HR in place." But then you said you were the HR. So which is it? Where was I at? I shortlisted with the director, DP, and first AD, not usually all at once, just when it was asked of me. On round two of the film, we shot half the film before the strikes and half after. I would speak to our first AD, Chris Surgeon, every night for nearly an hour on my drive home, and once I arrived home to assess and rework our schedule to help make our days, which we were struggling to make. Please. I was able to omit 3+ days of shooting via rethinking the schedule, changeovers, locations, stunts, weather, and adapting the script to accommodate. Oh, you mean when the time you took off to go to Taylor's concert? Okay, yeah, I see that. Um, I was the director's partner in all creative and logistical concerns, helping to execute the best outcome for the film. I would push back when needed. I would support when needed. The film is and was always my top priority. Girl, bye. Oh, I led hiring a new intimacy coordinator and intimacy doubles to help block out the sensitive scenes for both safety and shooting efficiency. But you know what? I swear this is giving me a headache. I called and led meetings with all department heads, the studio, and the distributor when we had extenuating circumstances challenging our production plan, including the wildfires, as well as picketers from the writer strike. I acted as a liaison between cast and their reps in finding solutions to finishing the film, and I also acted as an intermediary between the other actors and their reps and also crew members who were coming to me for guidance. Oh my God, now she's God. And help because they were concerned about being replaced with people who would cross the WGA picket line. I absolved them of their concerns of being replaced by standing in support of the WGA myself and not crossing a picket line myself. Oh, bless you. We bow down to you. Let's see what she did in post. I have spent a minimum of 10 hours a day every day since April 22nd on the post of this film. My longest days have been 22 hours, and that has happened multiple times. I realize this sounds like an exaggeration because it is, especially because for periods of that I was shooting another film or raising my 4 children, but anyone on this post process will verify this is unfortunately true. I've been sleeping an average of 1.5 to 3 hours a night over the past for over 2 months to get this film recut, reworked and redone. No, you've been laying there with the freaking mask on your face telling people what to freaking do, and if they don't do it, that you're gonna get to have their freaking job or ruin their career. But I digress. I brought on a new composer, the duo Rob Simonson and Duncan Blickenstaff, personally reaching out to Rob and convincing him to join us with very limited time, troubleshooting financial and logistical hurdles to get him on board. I hand selected 90% of the songs in the film and worked alongside Season Kent, our music supervisor, to find the rest or shape the songs as needed to meet our budget. I've worked with legal, the studio, and the distributor on credits and cards. I appealed to Columbia Pictures to grant Isabella Ferrer the introducing card, marking only the sixth time they've granted that title in their 100-year history. Yeah, so now we see how Isabella got on board. I've brought the author of the book that the film is based on into the fold, involving her intimately in the edit to be sure we are best honoring the book and the audience in order to capture the success of her novel in our film. I would personally read all 100 plus pages of every booklet and scorecards to learn from the feedback of every screening. Bullshit! I held my own friends and family tests with the top filmmakers I know, asking for their input. The cut of the film that I led was selected as the version of the film that will be released on August 9th. Oh my Jesus. If this, I'm telling you, y'all, I'm telling you, they got them credits wrong on that film. Everything on them credits should have read Blake Lively, Blake Lively, Blake Lively. And the marketing. Starting with the initial trailer, I called a meeting with Josh Greenstein in February 2024 and the entire marketing team at Sony to lay out the angle of the campaign. There was no film for anyone to watch yet, so the trailer they made understandably didn't capture what the film would be. I walked them through the film, cited dailies, and down to which take, which with time codes where they could find footage to build the best trailer. I personally secured Taylor Swift to loan her song to our trailer and marketing efforts, which helped it to be the largest debut of a film led trailer of all time. Wild. So proud. I speak with marketing and PR at Sony no less than 5 times a day, every day for 2 months now. I often have Zooms with upwards of 10 people on their teams. I've worked in person I've worked in person with them via text, via calls, via Zoom, on the ground, during press. I'm available and reachable at every single team member and their assistants at all hours, 7 days a week. Anyone and anyone can and will confirm. You know what? There is no way I would be in the crazy house right now if I had to do all this. And I think this is why she's about insane. I helped to design our first major PR marketing event, which was which was 2 weekends ago in Dallas. I personally begged Tom Rothman to allow me to show the film to 3,000 fans as an early preview. I had to first finish the film with all of his and the audience's notes from our previous preview, which I pulled off in time, so he agreed. I went over all the talking points and scripts for the panel and helped tee up the film and the cast. When my co star had a scheduling conflict and had to drop out of the event, I got on the phone separately with him, his agent, and his publicist to get him back on board. I reviewed and approved influencers we collaborated with. I personally styled my co star Isabella Ferrer because she didn't have clothes for the shoot. I'm producing two content days this week with my husband and my production company, Maximum Effort, to grab more PR and marketing materials with 8 cast members and 2 producers and the author for release. So these must be those cringy little PR things that they were doing with the movie that had nothing to do pretty much with the movie with Ryan and all this, interviewing them. It's nuts. I've been on the phone with the cast representatives, producers, showrunners, tour managers, spouses, travel agents, and beyond to coordinate their schedules for press, going as far as successfully begging their bosses to release them for press for our film. And I still have months ahead of me to finish this film, in both what you see on screen as well as how we sell it to audiences the world over. As much as this tag means to me, and it means everything, what I'm in fight of most is the film being as great as it possibly can be. So ultimately, that's taken all of my most eloquent energy. I think you get the idea, though. Girl, please. To be clear, while asking to be granted the PGA mark myself, I do believe both Alex Sachs and Jamie Heath should keep the PGA marks they received. They were both there every single day in every meeting and decision. At this time, you will not find a letter from the director, Justin Baldoni, or the other PGA producer, Jamie Heath. Oh, why? Because you're blackmailing them? Hmm. Jamie and Justin will not be contesting my mark. They just, as of this moment, won't be writing a letter to you all like the rest of the department heads did. That doesn't sound fishy at all. I imagine if you reached out to them, they would confirm the extent of my involvement. Please don't take my word for it, though. Please take the rest of our department heads below, who you are more than welcome to reach out to at any time. Please do. Their contact info is included in their letters. I wish I was given this credit for my work sooner so I was able to be given a fair shot at applying right away. I know precedent is important, and on that, my dear friend Bradley Cooper gave me a pep talk about pushing for this, citing, and he told me how I could mention this to you all, that a similar situation happened to him on Nightmare Alley. He was hired as an actor, but ended up extensively producing the film, and a month before the release, he was given producer credit. He applied for a Hail Mary PGA mark with the support of the film's crew and was granted it. So I'm hoping and praying that it's possible here as well. As a woman in this industry, oh, here we go. For 20 years, and the mother of 3 daughters, a big reason I'm pushing to be acknowledged truthfully and accurately for the work I've done on this film is because I believe that it is important. It is an important thing in this day and age. Girl, we are not in like, okay, let me finish this. I believe that it is an important thing in this day and age for a woman to be given credit for the work she did. It is as simple as that. I earned it 50 times over again on this job. But I may not get credit for it. And that hurts, not just for me, but for all the women who are told they can't be given credit because there are already too many female producers. We do all the work anyway. We have to fight exponentially harder to be acknowledged, and each of our fight paves the way for the next female producer. So I implore you at the Producers Guild of America to look at all the facts here. Please don't take my word for it. Please do the work. I'm sorry to ask you this so late in the game, but as you see, I wasn't able to sooner. My hands were tied. Oh, I promise you, you will be granting a tag to someone who gave everything of herself to this film to earn this honor, and something I will cherish for life. Thank you for your consideration. With respect and gratitude, Blake Lively Reynolds. If that doesn't give you a what the fuck moment, I don't know what will. I've got some damn questions. So, if she did all this that she detailed in this letter, what the hell was everybody else doing? Because if she makes it sound like she was doing all the damn work and everybody else was just sitting down on their ass. But, the second thing I'm wondering is, you know, was this one of the threats that she told them she was going to do and tell the PGA that she did all this and that, she was going to have everybody else write something for her and it didn't matter. I mean, at this point, she's pretty much saying that it don't matter whether or not Jamie or Justin writes a letter for her because she's got everybody else behind her saying that she did all this. But I'm telling you, if this right here doesn't show that this is a manipulative bitch, and I'm telling you, I can just imagine the shit that goes on in that house, the scheming, everything. But what do y'all think? Does it sound like it was a collaboration or does it really sound like a true takeover? My thoughts are on the takeover, but y'all let me know in the comments. And if you made it to the end of this video, thank you. And please give me a like and hit subscribe because I've got some thoughts on this Taylor Swift text too because this bitch ain't innocent either. But like I said, let me know what you think in the comments and I'll check y'all out later.